So so what we were doing this roll. And I'll show you in a minute how you can use that roll. And so he said, let me explain to you what's going on when you repeat something. And he did. So what it is, you've got neural pathways, and when you play something the same way over and over, it actually creates an image of that in your brain. And then if you're playing something really slow, but you play it for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes or whatever, you'll start to develop that image. And once it's in there, as you speed up, you'll play it the exact same way. And when we taught at John C. Campbell, we did this playing with instruments, playing with the metronome. We did that for 17 hours during the week. Can you imagine that? Now the way we did it, we used a metronome, we would put tracks on, we would sing, we would do all kinds of things, but you could. So one of the main objectives of this class today is just to practice that roll and get it down. So let's just do that. Now I've realized some of you are here for the first time, right? I mean, as far as playing banjo. Yeah. Basically, I used to sell encyclopedias, and I think I talked 5 or 6 people into coming here. I know they're going to regret it. But there we go. So, yeah, okay, well, let me.
So, Geoff is right-handed, so a majority of you can kind of copy what he's doing. There's 2 lefties in the room. You'll want it to be the opposite. So, you'll just flip your banjo facing the opposite direction. But everyone else should be like this.
Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. So, what we're going to do, in fact, why don't you walk and help these people? And so you've got the ball, so you're doing well. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a forward roll. We're going to play the 5th string, 3rd string, the 1st string.
Down on the top string. Your index strum is up on the middle string, and then your middle strum is up on the left string. Play around
played with pretty much everybody. You know, recorded with like Dan Kaminsky and played a lot with Allison Brown. Heard of these people. And he's a monster. And there's a magazine called Flat Picking Magazine, which is designed for flat picking guitar players. And they put him playing something out on the internet, and it was at 225. Now I don't know if you have any idea what that is. It's unbelievable. And so I started hanging around with him. And in fact, that's one of the secrets. I'll just tell you some of the deepest secrets, just practical things that no one else would mention. Okay, now think about this. Many of your greatest musicians are broke. Okay? Now, one of Bill Monroe's guitar players about 40 or 50 years ago moved to Columbus, Ohio, and he's living with in his car. Okay? And this guy was unbelievable. And I don't know if you've heard of a guy named Clarence White. He taught tongue varieties. Well, this guy's name was Sandy Rothman. He had lived with Clarence White. So he knew the timing and all that stuff. And so I put two and two together. I thought, you know, I live in a 3-bedroom duplex up by myself. He lives in his car. I'm gonna let him live with me. And I charge him $7 a week. That included utilities, phone. Yeah, he was always late on his rent. But the point is, I got to hang out with an incredible person that knew everything. And Clarence does a style of guitar playing which kind of plays things out of time, you know? But something like one of their favorite songs. Anyway, so this guy's living with me that can play all of this stuff, and he taught me that, you know. So that's just one thing you can do. Now, the one thing that Curtis kept saying is timing, and repetition. So we're doing a simple roll right now, and I'll show. We're going to demonstrate how you could use this. So when you go home, you can practice this and put this. I'll have to play with this one. Go ahead and play it if you would. That's fine. Now, if I'm off on some tangent and Tara comes and like slaps me in the back of the head, that's just normal. That's my signal to that I'm causing people to be bored. So, so here's what you can do with that once you learn. So, any song that's in the key of G, I can play it. I'm going to play it, and all you have to do is that roll. So I'll start playing the roll. Here was if you're beginning banjo player and you go to a jam and you've been practicing a song and the song's called out, you're pretty nervous usually. And so, particularly if you get off or when you get done with the song and you're supposed to do something to support the song, you don't know what to do. So you just keep playing your break or your solo over and over again. So there are two things that you can do pretty much immediately. Now I'm talking about after playing 3 or 4 hours. One is the 7-note roll, which we'll do that. if you go to a jam, a lot of times people say, man, there was a bass player here, and it really helped because the bass player played the downbeat. So then there's also, when you play bluegrass, there's a downbeat, and then there's an upbeat, which comes as a chop. So I'm gonna have, in a minute, I'm gonna demonstrate it, but just hold your hand right here, and move the right hand towards, now move it all the way to where the neck joins. And you can just rest your hands there. We're only gonna play the first string. So boom, boom, jump. So we're gonna play the offbeat. So boom. Okay, anybody can master this in 10 minutes or less. And if you go to a jam and you do that, people will come up to you and say, learn to play. Because you're really helping. So now, when you leave, the main thing, I want you to understand the forward roll that you've been doing, and also what's called a muted chop. Now, look, I'm gonna play the bass here for a second. So you're in a jam session, and here's your main rhythm. So I'm just going, so boom, and then jump, drop it. Okay. And once again, you don't have to play it real loud because the banjo cuts right now. If I ask you where my pick is, just remember I put it there. Yeah. So here we go. So I'm gonna go boom. Okay, now you fill up the curve bridge or not? Okay, so you can join it. Okay, just start playing Crook Creek, and I'll let you play it, and I'll play the bass, and then at some point, you watch Tara, she'll do the muted chop, okay? And you can play it on the slow side. You can actually play it faster. Now chop. Just start chopping, and we're gonna wait till everybody's in sync, and then I'll play the bass. Well, I know one note of the bass. So, okay, so once again, most of playing is just being in time and being accurate. And I'm gonna show you how much power there's in the room of just doing that and me playing like one note on the bass. And I also, if you're in, if you guys need some exercise, I also teach exotic dancing. So if you'll, so I'm gonna go boom, and I'll just go boom, chunk, boom, chunk, boom, chunk, boom, chunk, boom, chunk, bass only through this whole thing. And you guys are doing the chop, okay? You're playing lead. Just notice how tight it is. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of energy in the room right now. So. It's called facial expressions. All right, so here we go. So you start it. It's the same thing as if you have a motorcycle going up here that you're going faster, just slick your hair back. And it'll make it look like you're going faster. So once you lay down the basic rhythm, then all you have to do is whatever lead you're going to play, which you're playing on top of it. And that rhythm there was as good as the Banjo you've been hearing. All right. Now let's. Main thing I wanted to do is show you that, and then the forward roll. So we're going to practice that. And we're going to include the forward roll and the chop. So some people will do, whichever you feel more comfortable with. Now, I know, what is your name? Daryl. Okay, so Daryl. Okay. So we'll do the 7-note roll. And do it. Tara, you start off and it'll be kind of slow. started playing the banjo, what does that feel like when you can answer it, what's your sense of what's going on here as far as how timing?
It's a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. You watch people like Joe just rip through a bunch of strings, and you're like, there ain't no way I'd be able to do that, right? But today we're something with a simple roll. I get the beat stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's the same, right? So it's easy to know when to come in and know when to not. But once you sit there in that repetitiveness of one roll or whatever we're doing, it starts to become pretty easy for you.
Yeah. And
So
your
it's not
drive.
good. Technically, it's not good.
I equate this with hammering a nail. And so many people now use a nail gun, but I'm fixing something and hit it, damn thing, just bends, you know. So if you're a carpenter, you get to the point when, particularly a finished carpenter, because you're using this big heavy hammer with these long nails, and bam, bam, and you're kind of being paid by the hour. So if you, and the time it takes to get a nail out of there and put another in there, you could probably have nailed 5 or 6 nails.
It's pretty sad watching the younger folks, practice nailing compared to the nail gun. It's
Yeah.
pretty sad. It's
So,
painful.
so this is equivalent. So, and this is like nailing. So, what we're working on here is accuracy. So, if you're accurate in time, it'll work, and you can stay with what you know. You're playing, and then every once in a while you can venture out and experiment, and that's really what's going on. And I'm somewhat hesitant to get on the internet and say this, but what we're doing today, I don't know anybody anywhere that does this, that sits down and gets the basic rhythm and beat down, and you reinforce it, and it goes into your nervous system. And then once you've got that, then you can start learning to play leads and stuff. And so, I'm trying to think how this works. Okay, I am going to talk about my book here. Basically, I know this sounds bad, but I'm about to be evicted, so I have to sell 700 books this week. No. So anyway, now. So this is I mean, Tara can tell you, in many ways, I'm really not a very nice person, but one day, for some reason, I really got into the banjo, and I had been taught by some really good people, and I hung out with, like Bill Monroe's, guitar player, and got into John Hickman when I was 15 years old. We sat down and I learned to play exactly what he did, and at that time I could memorize it. And John Hickman, most of you probably haven't heard of, if you listen to the Dukes of Hazzard, he's the guy that's playing the banjo when they're riding around in the car. Okay, so now, Tara has been using this book. Okay, so what happened was I saw a classical guitar book that had a bunch of pictures in it, because when you do classical guitar, you have to trim your fingernails exactly. So it helps if you have a book that has a close-up of what it's supposed to look like. You have to hold your hand a certain way. You have to hold your arm a certain way. So there's like 200 pictures and when you play the string, it has to be in exactly the right way. So I'm thinking, wow, wouldn't that be great if I did a banjo book that had a bunch of pictures in it? And so I did that in 1982. It almost killed me, because there was no such thing as desktop publishing. So every note, everything I did, I had to take a template and draw it. Now, this has since been typeset, so this is modern technology here. So what I'm saying, and then we we started this company and we started doing videos. So every one of our books has extensive videos. We're talking like 60 minutes of video. So this book has been rewritten 5 times, and the video's been shot 3 times. So we've got it pretty much like we want it. And so when I moved to Yellow Springs, I started, hey, I'm gonna teach some people how to play the banjo. I hadn't really taught other than in camps for a long time. So I had the students come in, and I thought, you know what, we could use this book. So I've written about 13 books and never ever used any of them in teaching. So anytime I wanted to show something, I'd sit down and figure out how to explain it. And then I started looking at this book. I said, wait a minute, I've already done this. So what we did, what we're doing today is the preamble, if you want to call it, to this book. So what happened here, we took the roll patterns with the right hand and developed songs that were very repetitious. And so I'm going to play one of them. So the first, okay.
Did you tune this one?
It wasn't, it's going to. So I don't have any type of big display. Basically, we were just working on a form. Oh, where's my tuner?
Here it is.
There we go. Yeah, just find a seat. Wow, that thing went out of tune like crazy.
He can't actually.
I know the jokes, he's a
Right, yeah. He's actually very bad too.
Yeah, well, let's say I spent half the time tuning my banjo and the other half playing out of tune. All right, so we did a forward roll. And now there's a forward and backward roll, which you can do on different strings. So this particular one goes forward, thumb, index, middle, and then goes thumb. And I'll demonstrate this for probably 3 or 4 minutes before we even try this. So it's thumb, index, middle, thumb, middle, index, thumb, middle. And it goes like. So you learn better if we take one technique in a song and just use only that one. And I'll try to do 2 or 3 at the same time. So taking that particular pattern, we did boil and cabbage down, which is we just. Let's say I'm going to play boil and cabbage down. So now I'll put a little syncopation in it, but this is the same exact thing I just did. Okay, so in this case, we are adding some simple chords. So that's the first song. Then I've actually been having my students skip a few songs, and there's a song called Cripple Creek that years ago, that was always the first song that we learned. Now, is this making any sense the way I'm approaching this?
Why
So
don't
you're
we-
just learning one
Do
thing.
you want to give people time to practice the forward and backward roll before you do Cripple Creek?
Sure, we can do that.
So again, it was what you've been practicing, which is the thumb, middle, index, thumb. And then you're going to reverse it, start with the middle. Middle, just reverse what you did. So it starts with thumb, middle, index, thumb, and then middle, index, thumb, middle. Does that kind of make sense?
So
You just
we'll go
reverse the
around
same thing you do.
Yeah, I know.
See, I was falling off like
Or if you like your still at just a straight roll place, then just do that. You can just keep doing that.
forward backwards.
And then you will finish with another middle of the bottom string. Yeah, everything was perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just repeat it. Yeah. So before we were just snapping, there was a pause. This one has 8. So it's continuous. Yeah. Going back here. You get that? How are you doing? No? Okay. That's right. Do you want to work on just the straight one?
And then you do you go back to your middle. Like you do your thumb twice, you go back to your middle. Oh, okay. Let's get some dance.
The next day, your body just
Give us four.
You pretty much always use the fifth string as the brothers.
Perfect, yeah. Let me see. You're so yeah. Are you guys both looking on the floor and backwards together? Okay, so let's do it together. So you start with what you know. I really like the stuff. Middle, stuff. And then you flip it and you go middle, index, Does that kind of make sense? So, index, middle, thumb, and then after you flip it to middle, index, thumb, middle, and you flip it back. Thumb, middle, index, thumb, and then middle, index, thumb, middle. And it's 8 notes, so it's 1, 2, 3,
This particular I did bring books with me, so what we'll do is kind of get used to it.
Pretty much, we're not touching 2 and 4. Or if you want to do just the 7 note roll, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's just your normal. You're getting there. How are you doing?
So the second thumb is on the bottom.
So Joe Mullins has arrived. And Joe is the person that has coordinated this incredible festival. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for having a nice Saturday, Friday morning workshop for potential banjo players. I stopped by to see if anybody was without an instrument. I've got a couple of these with me, and anybody wants to take a ride on it, feel free. Gold tone instruments have really came on strong the last several years with several models. And it was just a great blessing. We were on tour in Florida 2 winters in a row, and they invited us to stop by and visit, and take a tour of their facility and meet their team. And they said, well, we need a Joe Mullins model banjo. The old Gibson that I've been playing on stage the last 3 or 4 years is about a 1949 Gibson RB 150, which was a very plain, simple banjo after World War II. And metal was short. So it does not have a big heavy tone ring in it. So the banjo's kind of lightweight. It's got a brass hoop in here instead of a heavy tone ring. And so they modeled one after my old 150. The bow tie fingerboard pattern, the bow tie inlay pattern has always been super cool. The RB 250s built during the 50s and early 60s, all carried that pattern. The 150 had it, just a little less ornate in a couple places. So they modeled a new gold tone Joe Mullins model, lightweight. They said, let's go gold plated. So a gold plated bow tie, they're in very many Gibsons even. I think their 500s were about the only ones that looked like were gold plated.
Yeah.
But there's few of those around. So it's a beautiful banjo without being extremely heavy, and they turned out one that sounds really good. Geoff said he's sold several to Banjo Warehouse. We introduced it here last year. I saw them at the IBMA convention in Nashville, and they had one on display and were sold out otherwise. The only two they had in the warehouse, they sent to me for this festival. They've sold 6 dozen of them to players around the country since the spring, and there'll be another batch of them being assembled by the first of the year. But if you'd like to play it, it's a very affordable pro model banjo at $2,200. I've got 2 of them with me. If you want to play this one, feel free. I'll leave it in here for a while. Take a look. If it's not for you, if you got somebody else you're shopping for that would like a quality instrument, they're worthy, aren't they, Jeff?
They sound amazing, and there's something about when you have a gold-plated banjo, they sound different.
What makes you look like you know what you're doing anyway? That's what I'm going on.
You gotta be careful. If you're in a bad section of town, always take a banjo that's really beat up, because if you walk through with that, you're probably gonna get robbed. But no, it was amazing. I was amazed when I heard the banjo, because it's a hoop banjo, and it doesn't sound like anything else. It's a totally unique sound.
Yeah. I love the sound of the old one I'm playing, and they copied the majority of those features and then dressed it up very nicely. So, if you're interested, it's on the corner table out there where I'm.
Do you have your picks with you?
No, I don't. No, everything's backstage.
Okay.
Everything's backstage.
I was going to show you what we've accomplished so far, and
I heard everybody playing.
and have you play with us a little bit.
That's
I
all
could
right.
even loan you. I don't know if you could use my picture.
Yeah, I'll bet them all pieces. I got my fingers are like those. You don't want.
Okay.
So I'm glad y'all are enthused about banjo. Glad Jeff's contributed to good workshops for him. I'm sure you learned something. And, but if you're interested, this is available anytime. So thanks for being here.
All right.
Enjoy the day. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. This festival is unreal. The fact that it's indoors, I've never seen anything like it, you know? And everything is extraordinary. And I noticed that he had his band last time we were here. It was a breakfast. It was a breakfast, and the band members actually were the waiters, which was cool. So you got to see.
Is that tomorrow?
You got to see the band.
They're doing it again tomorrow, Jeff.
Pardon?
I said they're doing it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a frame race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The breakfast was great. Okay, so long story short, the reason I was bringing this out was, this is step by step, so every song pretty much shows you only one technique, so you don't get into the problem of transitioning. And there's about 2 to 2.5 hours of video instruction. So if you, for example, play the first song, which is Boil a Cabbage Down, it will have that song, that very break, played at 3 different really slow speeds. Then you could go to another part, and these are all downloaded. They go in the Dropbox. You can go to another place where the song is played at 5 more speeds. Because one of the things that's hard is if you try to speed up too fast, sometimes it encourages bad habits. I hate to use the word bad habits, but it works so much better if you keep reinforcing it. So whenever you're learning a new song, slow and accurate, and then gradually increase. So, so that's that. And
We have about 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left.
Yeah.
So the next song, which I normally teach, I skipped from Boil a Cabbage Down to Cripple Creek, and we're just gonna learn one ever been stretched, what you do is you take and you just pull them, and they're not gonna break. And then they'll start to settle in. So that's why this measure keeps going out of tune. Okay, so Boil and Cabbage Down once again is going to feature, there's going to be a C, and it's a partial C, 2-finger. And I'm not actually going to cover that because it's covered in the video. And then, so, just so you kind of get a sense of what's coming down the road. Every note is, they call it about note spacing, every note is the same difference. So if I'm playing, when you think of banjo, you're thinking about like, and many times if you're a beginner, as you play faster, you concentrate more, and maybe it is playing with more drive. But if you're using a metronome, when I do that, I can do like. Can you feel the power of that? Now, if you were watching a movie and you heard this, what would you think? What's about to happen?
Death.
It's pretty ominous, right? Something bad's about to happen. Now, the reason that it has a lot of power is strictly because it's lined up perfectly. So the idea is to preserve that power as you play faster. So if I go, this banjo is out of tune, son. So anyway, I almost want you to come out of your body. I mean, it's so powerful. Anyway, and all that is that accuracy being played at a faster speed. Okay. So the only other thing I'll show you is a hammer-on. And the first song that people used to learn 50 years ago was Cripple Creek. And there's one lick in there where you do a hammer-on. And you have a banjo. Okay, show them how to do a hammer-on. So the lick is hammer-on. And let's actually talk about the hammer-on.
So we'll start with your
So the hammer-on, we're going to
index
do
finger
third
on
string,
one
second
hand
string.
or your opposite. And you're going to press down on the third string.
So
The middle
basically,
string in the second fret. So kind of right above that second fret.
and you can time it differently, you know.
And you're gonna have that
So we're gonna play that.
Now, what you're going to be doing with your middle finger is you're going to be pressing down the same string on the next fret.
Now, we're gonna take the index
So I'm
finger.
not here.
So you're going to be going like this.
So we're
That's all
gonna
you're doing.
hold this note down
Now
with
have
the
middle
index
finger
and
on
then
that same string. So you're just going to strum the third string once with your thumb. And as you strum it, you're going to hammer on that second finger.
and there's a simple way to choose the hammer on.
And that index finger can stay right where it is. You just need to have to let it go.
Now, sometimes if you play it faster, it sounds better. But the idea is the slower you play. So if I'm playing, I'm going the slower you play, the better.
But it's helpful
Okay,
to
so
feel some kind of heaviness about it.
Break down. I really know that song. I've been playing for
So
years.
as opposed to kind of holding it like this,
I'll show you how slow.
on the back. It gives your hand a little bit more.
I can play that song perfectly. But that's all it's fixed. I can't do that very well, so I can do it. All right, so
It looks like it's on the back. Next one. There it goes. Yep.
long story short, so we're done. If you have questions, I'll be around to do that. If you like if you want for some reason to get a banjo cover, you can get it through Amazon, or I've got a bunch of copies here. It's $20. That includes the book, and you go to the internet, and it includes about 3 hours of video, step by step. It also includes jam tracks at 5 different speeds, so it should be with a full.
Yeah, and I think at the festival we're selling them for 15. Online it's $20. It's 15 at the festival. So feel free to come pay us a visit, stick around if you want, and keep kind of experimenting on the banjo. Whenever you're done with the banjo, if you borrow one from us, just put it on the table. But yeah, definitely free. We're at the Banjo Warehouse booth, and we'll be here all weekend. So definitely feel free to stop on by. And Geoff is notorious for giving little baby lessons, so